dear Vrindama, Shyam, Arati and the entire family to bear the spiritual care of the loss with fortitude. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Only a couple of 2 or 3 days back, he telephoned to us, conveying passing away of his brother-in-law, who has been here for a quite long time. But Srikrishna ji was not here. Only for the past 2 or 3 years now, he has not been able to come. Otherwise, he was in ashram only. With all the physical limitations, he did as many programs as possible. And of course, nobody can forget his Ram Nam and bhajans. Even during our year-end programs, when devotees request, with all his limitations, he will sit with the harmonium. Because doing bhajan or doing Ram Nam, it is not for others, he was reveling in his own playing. So many such memories come back to us. A fulfilled life. We also remember sometime during 99, if we remember right, when he almost passed on his class to his son, he came to ashram and then spent about 2 or 3 weeks absolutely in mount. And every day he used to jot down what all the mind says. And he used to share with us and with Shuddhananji also. So that means, the process of going within, it took a lot of time because he had his own commitment toward the family, toward the profession. And as soon as he was relatively, he became free. The first and foremost thing he thought was to come to ashram and take to solitude. He was staying in the lower portion of this Shivananda Sadhu Dham, and the whole day he spends in the room and then noting down, that is very important, noting down what all the thoughts and other experiences he was passing through. That gave him the grounding. So when Puja Swamiji decided to induct him as a trustee, he was in a position to take it up and come here and did his own seva in his own form. And I think till COVID, he was here only.
23 January.
Until 23 January, he was here only. So we all remember now when we look back, and he teaches us then that we may be developing these ideas, but a day should come when Papa insists upon this solitude, a very important stage in one's life to get more and more firm in our commitment to attain the goal. With all the outer activities, we may be telling that it may not become intense. Absolutely no activity. Excepting for the food, he goes and comes back to us. He will not talk to anybody, he will be in the room only. But every time, every day, religiously in a pad, and he has got a beautiful handwriting also, and he will jot down what all thoughts came up, what all he was made to experience, gap between thoughts and everything. So that grounding in 99, if we remember right, 99, gave him the footing. Because he had been, he used to share with us his days with Papa, and then later on Mother, more and more time with Mataji. many experiences. We were able to understand Puja Mataji's ways of dealing through him also. Prior to 63, after 64, 65, we were coming. But before that, we did not know. So that was also shared by him. Rich with it. And dedication to Papa Mataji is total. Total means total. There was no question. Absolutely. And another thing is contentment, contentment. When the time came for him to step down from his field of profession, it's very difficult, Normally people still have attachment towards so many things. But he was able to completely detach and come here at the same time, keeping the touch with the family intensely, intimately. So many things we have to keep on thinking about this noble soul, so that it will give us a boost in our sadhana. So with all this, now he has become a part of our remembrance. We bring him before our mental vision. We give pranams to him and pray to him, who has now become part of the consciousness of self, to bless us with speedy progress in becoming aware of God's presence within, without, behind every thought, every word, every deed. Hari Om. Many of you would have definitely seen, or all of you would have seen. So you might be remembering many things. According to the information we got from Bombay, the cremation must have taken place now. Now coming back to our sadhana. Before that, there has been a long gap in making a mention about our in-depth study of Gita. Today, just to refresh, during the past 2.5 months or 3 months, we were able to bring out 108 slogas, 6 slogas in 18 chapters. 6 into 18, 108. The selection was done not with any fixed idea in our mind. As we keep on rolling the pages, suddenly the inner prompting will come and stop. We try to get aligned with it and then come out with an example, relatable example. And then it was going on with the help of so many devotees, directly, indirectly. It has all come out in the form of a sheet. 2 chapters in 1 sheet. And it is titled as Shelf to Self. From the shelf to the self, It's called SS sheets. And then from 26th of last month, every week, friends are now posting it to one sheet a week, so that in the course of another 8 or 9 months, everybody will be in receipt of this 108 slokas. Most of you might be getting it. We request, please go through that. And the purpose of going through that is we should set ourselves on a process, not to simply read. So when we completed this 108, only a few items are left out. Otherwise, everything we are ready now. Then the next stage comes, how to link it with our daily life. So instead of starting from the sloga, which is a tough job, we try to remember any incident which we have experienced, any incident we have heard, we have seen, or we have known, no? And then try to connect up with Bhagavad Gita. For that, this 108, when we completed this, it will be in this form. Sheet number 1, chapter number 1, Shloka 21-22, caption, evaluate first before plunging into action. Mailing date, Vinyanapad. So this is how each and every shloka, based upon how he took us, how he guided us, we identified a couple of examples, and then this caption evolved out of it. Just we will read out the caption. Evaluate first before plunging into action. Self-centeredness narrows our perspective. Wrong thinking is the only problem in life. Clarity ends chaos. Beware of fake nobility. Connect always with the source. Knowledge clears the way. Stillness in storm. Even-mindedness in all situations. Dexterity in action. Steps towards peace and joy. Full yet unfazed. Combine knowledge and action. Anchor the mind, liberate the action. Act without attachment. Act without ownership. Act as an impartial witness. Remain unaffected by attraction and aversions. Creation and destruction interrelated. Positive indifference. Unshaken amidst changes. Act fully, remain detached. Let go of conceptual prisons. Source provides all. Finding inner joy. Dedicated action is the path forward. Action without identity. Act only for self-purification. See beyond the surface. Hearts aligned with the whole. The mind, friend or foe. Recharge within. Mindful moderation. serene mind, mind training, sustained practice and restraint. This is the first set, 36, 6 chapters. And then comes the second, from the 7th chapter. Common ground ends conflict. Recognizing the core brings humility. Recognize the source of all. Discernment breaks the illusion. Live what you learn. Unclear vision, certain fall. Recall him, life is passing. Love expansively. Constancy, a must for success. Humble practice brings success. Go beyond likes and dislikes. Beneath differences lie unity. All exist in him, yet he transcends. Offer help, hold no claim. Look beyond appearances. Cherish your blessings. Feeling matters more. Blend into the field of action. Grace dispels ignorance. See divinity all around. Rest in inner stillness. Balance thought, effort, and endurance. The infinite dwells in the minute. The visible veils the vast. One reality, many expressions. Beware the limits of intellect. Give back your best. Time wields both birth and end. Surrender reveals what is. Release the potential as a payback. Life a purposeful return. Truth lies beyond the seen. Inner riches uplift everyone. Release the potential as a payback. From remembrance, dedication follows. Worship through work. So another 18, so 36 over, 12 chapters. And the last one. Act but stay unaffected. Reflect to grasp the essence. Detach from Maya, attached to the divine. See the base behind projections. Love reveals itself through service. Know the difference, body versus knower. See how gunas bind the spirit. Observe nature's ways to rise above. Positive mind, positive world. Let your life reflect your vision. Trace all back to the one source. Don't judge by outer behavior. Put divinity first. Align first, then master the path. Lead without noise. See hidden potential. Trust the force behind recovery. Reflect perishable to the transcendent. Goodness is its own reward. Uplift yourself, guard against lows. Selfishness harms the whole. Watch out, temptations exploit weakness. Uphold values, preserve harmony. Apply knowledge, don't just store it. Attention brings fulfillment. Let faith mature into trust. Choose uplifting company. Gentleness resolves much. Silence builds discipline. Austerity thrives with unity. Act with awareness of the provider. Stay impartial always. Connect to the power within. Surrender ego, realize oneness. Follow your true nature. Let go, move towards oneness. So these are all the outcome of the in-depth study, 108. Many of you must have seen that. Those who have not seen, we will show one also. This is how every page you must have seen that. So first sheet, first chapter, there will be slogan number. Evaluate first before plunging into action. A pedestrian looks both ways before crossing, observing traffic, assessing the flow, choosing the right moment ensures safety. A single moment of careless haste can lead to danger. A student's career choice, too, involves checking one's temperament, aptitude, resources, long-term interests. Jumping in blindly often leads to regret. Now, this is connected with our daily life. These are the perspectives that echo the insights of the upcoming shlokas. Now let us explore the shloka and its meaning. Senayor upayor madhye ratam stapayame achyuta yavadeda niriksheham yodu kaman avastitan kairmaya sahayodhavyam asmin rena samudhyame. Place my chariot in the midst of the two armies, O Achyuta, that I may observe those who stand eager to fight, and let me know with whom I must engage in this battle. Previously, we did not get any clue. Because what had happened 6,000 years ago, that comes and occupies our mind. So because of that, we are not in a position to relate to our modern world. So that is why this ulta business. First we parade before our experience or anecdotes or examples. So we all cross the roads wherever there is a traffic, and then we don't just cross the road, we look at each other. So this is what he said in the 21st 22. Then that was the context. Same context will not be relevant today, but the theme is relevant always. This is how Gita becomes a part of our daily life. Arjuna does something profound before the war begins. He does not immediately rush into battle. He seeks clarity. He wants to see what he is up against, not just externally, but internally too. A mind that is unrefined rushes into action, like an archer losing arrows in the dark. But wisdom lies in that sacred pause to observe, evaluate, refine one's understanding. And the tendency will be there, when we parade before. So that when we do that, we might remember this, evaluate before plunging into action. So this is how all these 108 has come. In one page there will be 2. Okay, now that you will be getting it, why it was decided to post one sheet a week, so that they can, Saturday, today's Friday. Today is Friday. Today it will go.
So it will be sent to the WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. You can give your number. Everybody will get it. So that a time, first or second, suppose we miss, you can download it. That facility is also there. Then you can keep it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 11, and then go through it again and again and again and again. Then so many things will touch and kindle and well up in our heart. So this will go on every week. It will religiously go there. And now that stage has come now. Now all these things are getting translated into different languages. Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Hindi, Gujarati. And it will be sent to those who would like to have it in their language. It's also going. So slowly we are trying to put ourselves on that. And the next stage has come when we are trying to make it a reality. This will be read and so. What do we do? This is not coming out in the form of a book now. We are going to have an interactive session with the devotees, students in the longer run. And then we were preparing ourselves, how will we carry on with this session. So this is the guideline that Papa gave us now. Life refined with the Gita touch. Before seeking the guidance of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to navigate life's many circumstances, it is important to acknowledge a fundamental truth. Beloved Papa and many Mahatmas have consistently reminded us that the Gita is addressed to the man on the field, the one actively engaged in life. Its purpose is to help him respond to all situations with clarity, composure, and the right perspective. But this promise becomes real only when we learn to probe deeply into the roots of our challenges rather than merely seek quick fixes. Unlike a statute book or dictionary that offers direct, ready-made answers, Gita operates on a subtler, transformative level. It does not provide prescriptions, it awakens. It does not just instruct, it inspires reflection. Suppose we don't know the meaning of a word, we go to the dictionary. Dictionary is available to us, direct. Suppose any statute, we don't know, income tax, traffic rules, this and that, so many are there. Immediately there you go to the Google Baba and then he gives you which are the rules, direct answer. Bhagavad Gita does not do that. Here it is transformative. It helps us to reflect and find out. Just like we learned the driving. It is not a book says you do this. You cannot do that. But driving is a process by which the equipment becomes thoroughly oriented toward that job profession. All the 5 organs, how they work, how should we be conscious of what is happening outside, from the rear and the front, so many things, the traffic signs, the managing the rush hours, so many things. This is all a transformative step, not an academic step. We learn something straight away, no. So similarly, Gita provides us a step-by-step method by which we tune our mind, and then once the mind gets tuned to it, it stays with that. Available always to us. Not for a particular answer. So unlike a statute book or dictionary that offers direct, ready-made answers, Gita operates on a subtler, transformative level. It does not provide prescriptions, it awakens. It does not just instruct, it inspires reflection. When approached with serenity and introspection, Gita becomes a mirror, showing us where our perceptions need refining. Lord Krishna affirmed this in chapter 18, shloka 63. After giving out 600 odd shlokas, Lord Krishna is not asking him, you should do this. Why do we say it's transformative? Lord Krishna himself says at the end, Vimarshaya, that particular word. He says, I have explained to you the most secret of all knowledge, reflect deeply upon it. And then act as you wish. Yathechasi tataguru. This is a wonderful word. It gave us the light. In our in-depth study, that gave us the light. Not direct answers. Reflect, reflect, reflect. Because we should know what we are reading is that had happened 6,000 years ago. God has brought so many changes now. In the whole lifestyle has changed. Mind makeup, social life, family life, professional life, everywhere there is change, change, change. So we must, it may be difficult for us just to learn by heart and there repeat. It will not help us. So we have to assimilate the theme, the subtle theme behind it, reflect. Then apply it to the modern day. Then only Gita becomes our true companion. This verse makes it clear. Gita is not just to be read or recited, it is to be lived. Its relevance is not in offering external solutions, but in kindling inner transformation. To benefit from a dictionary or a statute, one must know that it exists first, acquire it, learn to use it. Similarly, a Gitobhasaka, one who seeks to live by the Gita's wisdom, must first grasp its vision, then keep reflecting on its teachings in the light of real life experience. Gradually, a beautiful shift occurs. The Gita moves from shelf to self, from reverence to relevance. From reverence to relevance. Not merely worshipping and keeping it in our shelf. This weaving process involves recalling incidents that we have lived through or witnessed, recollecting on how we responded and what resulted, and then connecting the experience with the relevant Gita shloka, not necessarily word for word, as the text millennia old, but drawing its eternal spirit into today's context. In that spirit, the following section presents 10 relatable life situations, each matched with a corresponding Gita insight, showing how its timeless guidance remains deeply practical no matter the role or stage of life. Example. A family is devastated by the sudden passing of its sole breadwinner. Grief engulfs the home. Sorrow, disbelief, fear ripple through every member. In the midst of this emotional storm, a close friend of the departed arrives. Rather than offering hollow words of comfort, he sits silently, allowing the family to pour out their anguish, their pain, their questions. Only after the waves of emotion settle a little, he gently begins to speak, not with detachment but with depth, drawing from his own journey of witnessing the loss of loved ones and reflecting on the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. He begins to introduce a deeper perspective. Slowly he helps them accept the irrefutable truth of life and death, not as philosophy, but as a reality. What gave him the strength to speak so gently and so firmly? It was his inner assimilation of chapter number 2, shloka number 27. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmat apariharyarte natvam shochitum arhasi. Death is certain for the one who is born, and rebirth is certain for the one who has died. Therefore, you should not grieve over the inevitable. This is the process. And when you and I read this, slowly we get connected to this sloka. At the same time, not merely as a philosophy, but something that directly answers the anxieties or the disturbances caused by death. And it stays forever. This verse has become a living truth for him, not just a quote, but an anchor during turbulent times. And now it became a quiet torchlight for those in darkness, guiding them towards inner acceptance and a renewed outlook on the life that still remained to be lived. In this way, the Gita is no longer a sacred book on the shelf. It becomes a lived strength, transforming both the speaker and the listener. Second one, rescued from the edge, a Gita-inspired intervention. A high school student in his final year unknowingly slipped into drug addiction. When the parents discovered it, they were devastated and unsure how to respond without alienating him further. With a deep concern, they approached a dedicated counselor. Listening calmly, the counselor reached out to the boy with empathy and patience. Aware that addiction cannot be broken by force, he gently guided the student through multiple sessions. Over time, the boy opened up, recognized the trap he was in, and willingly embraced both medical and psychological support. What enabled the counselor to handle the situation so wisely is grounding in the Bhagavad Gita, particularly chapter number 2, shloka number 67. You have got the book? No. Indriyanam hi jaradam yanmanu tadasya haradi prajnam vayur navam ivambasi. As a strong wind sweeps a boat off course, so does a wandering sense drag the mind and destroy one's inner clarity. Vanda. So now, rooted in this insight, the counselor knew the need was not just to stop the action, but to restore inner balance. With care, he helped the boy steer his life back on course from drift to direction. And from there we go to the third one, the power of gentle speech, feeding 50 with grace. A social institution known for its hospitality regularly receives guests and well-wishers. One afternoon around 12:45 p.m., a group of 50 students arrived unexpectedly and expressed their desire to have lunch. It was peak lunch hour. The kitchen staff were already stretched, serving the regular crowd. Turning the students away was not in the spirit of the institution. The person in charge, deeply influenced by Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 17, shloka number 15, gently approached the canteen staff and with calm and respectful words. Anudvegagaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayad. Words that are soothing, truthful, beneficial, and free from agitation. Such speech is considered as Vangmaya Tavas, an austerity. His tone carried both compassion and dignity. Moved by this gentle appeal, the kitchen staff rose to the occasion. With a swift adjustment, they prepared and served food for the entire group. Joy filled the hall. Both the students and the servers felt uplifted. This episode showed how a single moment of thoughtful speech, rooted in inner refinement, can turn a logistical crisis into a heart-winning act of service. Silent giving, selfless spirit, Gita-inspired gesture. The managing trustee of a charitable trust had long supported a medical mission serving the poorest communities. Recently, he made a generous donation towards a mobile clinic, a project that soon attracted other contributions as well. To express their gratitude, the mission organized a public felicitation for the donors. While others welcomed the recognition, the managing trustee, known for quietly serving without seeking visibility, politely declined the invitation. However, at the instance of many, he eventually agreed to attend, but only as a regular guest, seated humbly among the attendees. The function concluded gracefully with dignity and mutual respect. His assistant, observing this quiet detachment, felt reminded of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 5, sloka number 10. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tektva karodiyah lipyatena sa papena padmapatra vibambasa. He who dedicates his actions to the divine and performs them without attachment remains untouched like a lotus leaf in the water. The managing trustee's self-effacing conduct was not just humility in action, it was the Gita's wisdom embodied, giving without claiming, acting without ownership. Another example. One afternoon, a young employee, upset over a minor issue, stormed into the assistant manager's cabin, vented his frustration in a loud, disrespectful tone, well beyond the bounds of decorum. The assistant manager, instead of reacting, listened patiently with calm composure. He addressed the concern, even went so far as to express regret for the misunderstanding. His quiet dignity and the willingness to come down to the employee's level diffused the tension. The young man, moved by this unexpected empathy, instantly realized his own impulsiveness. With visible remorse, he apologized. The assistant manager gently patted his back and said, "Let us move on." Later, the employee reflected on the incident and recognized that it was not a lecture, but the example that corrected him. He recalled the essence of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12, sloka number 13. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evaja nirmamo nirahankaraha samadukka sugakshami. One who bears no hatred, is friendly and compassionate, free from ego and possessiveness, balanced in joy and sorrow. Such a one is dear to me. In that small cabin, a living embodiment of the Gita helped turn conflict into correction, reaction into reflection. A retired father sat quietly with his grown-up son on the porch. The chirping of the bird caught his attention, and with childlike curiosity he asked, "What is that sound?" The son, absorbed in his novel, replied curtly, "It's a parrot." 10 minutes later, the father asked again. The son, irritated, repeated the answer, this time a bit more sharply. When the same question was asked a third time, the son lost his patience and snapped, "How many times do I have to repeat myself?" The old man said nothing. He quietly went inside, pulled out an old diary, returned with a page marked from 20 years ago. Handing it to his son, he asked him to read it aloud. The son read, "Today my little boy asked me 20 times what a bird sound was. Each time I answered him with joy, hugging him in closer." The son sat stunned. It was he, Words caught in his throat. He hugged his father as a mark of atoning his mistake. This quiet strength and emotional vastness of the father reminded a listener of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, sloka number 70. Apuryamana matala pradishtam samudramava pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantim apnoti nakama kami. Just as the ocean remains full and unmoved despite rivers merging into it, so too is the one who remains undisturbed amidst life's demands, the one who attains true peace. Like the ocean, the father did not react to the waves of irritation. He absorbed them into silence, anchored in love, and in that moment, his stillness taught more than 1,000 words ever could. A wake-up call from a child, Gita, at the breakfast table. One morning, an elderly father, recently affected by mild Parkinson's, joined his son, an executive, and daughter-in-law for their usual breakfast. While sipping his coffee, his trembling hand caused a few drops to spill onto his son's neatly pressed shirt. Instantly, the daughter-in-law reacted sharply. "It is high time we consider moving him to an old-age home." Her frustration stemmed from concern, but the words stung. The son, caught between roles, stayed silent. Both worked full time, and the father, though loved, now seemed like a logistical burden. They found a well equipped elder care facility and decided to visit it that Sunday. Their 10-year-old son insisted on joining them. After touring the place and agreeing it would suit the elderly man, the child calmly shared his reason for tagging along. I wanted to see this place so that I can keep you both here when you grow old. His innocent remark struck like lightning. Silence fell. The truth dawned. Aging is not a misfortune, it's a natural progression. They returned home with tears and humility, apologized to the old man, owing to care for him with love. In that moment of awakening, the essence of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, Shloka 13, came alive. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehandara praptihi dhirastatra namukshati. Just as the soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age in the body, so too it moves on after. The wise are not deluded by this. With the minds, what the mind resisted, a child's heart revealed. Old age is not an error to be corrected, but a stage to be respected. The Gita once again had spoken through the voice of innocence. The missed bus and the missed mindfulness, a lesson from the Gita. A schoolboy, on the morning of his final exam, stood at the bus stop ready to leave. As he waited, he casually scrolled through his phone. Engrossed in the apps, he did not notice the bus arrive and leave. Panic struck. After frantic fretting and blaming himself, he rushed to school by auto rickshaw. By the time he arrived, the exam had begun. The examiner reprimanded him for his carelessness, but seeing his distress allowed him to take the exam. Though he made it just in time, the experience left a lasting impression. Later, a well-wisher gently explained the deeper lesson behind the incident, quoting Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 18, Shloka number 13. Yadagre chanubhandi. Something wrong in the mention. It must be Saddhatrayam. No, not Saddhatrayam. The different Sattva-Rajas-Tamas. What do you call it? Gunatraya Vibhaga. But that is also not there. So it must be in 817. No. Anyway, we have some mistake somewhere. Ragre Chanupande. 39, 18, huh? Oh, it is correct. Yadagre chanubande cha sugam mohanam atmana nidralasya pramodhartam tattama samudahritam. The pleasure which seems sweet at first, but ends in confusion. He was going the mobile, Born of laziness, sleep, negligence, is said to be the nature of ignorance. What began as a moment of casual indulgence nearly sabotaged a crucial life event. The student realized that distractions disguised as comfort often come with a steep cost. True happiness lies not in escape, but in the presence and responsibility. Presence. Integrity over outcome. A Gita moment in the classroom. After terminal exam, answer sheets were handed back to the students. One student declared the class topper, noticed an error. The total marks on his paper were inflated by 3. Correcting the mistake would mean he would drop to the 3rd rank. But without hesitation, the student approached the teacher and pointed out the miscalculation. The teacher was stunned. Here was a rare moment of honesty where a student refused to accept what was not rightfully his. She reported to the principal, who called the boy and asked, "Why did not you keep quiet? No one would have noticed." The boy calmly replied, "Exams are meant to measure my progress, not my cleverness in hiding mistakes." Moved by the boy's integrity, the principal addressed the school assembly next day. With pride in his voice, he narrated the incident and said, "I am honored to lead a school where students like this study." Later, a well-wisher of the student reflected that the boy's action was a living example of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, sloga number 47. Karmanye vadigaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma balavedurbhur mate sangostva karmani. You have the right to perform your duties only, but not to the fruits of your action. Never act with attachment to results, nor be inactive. The boy's focus was not on being first, but on being right. In that moment, he embodied the spirit of detached action, doing his duty not for reward, but for truth. Seeing through the heart, the Gita moment beyond sight. 2 patients, both seriously ill, shared a hospital room. One of them had his bed next to his window, and every day he described in vivid detail the beautiful scenes outside, children playing, trees swaying, colors of the sky, painting pictures that his roommate cherished deeply. Through these moments, both felt joy and connection with the world beyond. This continued for over a month. Then one morning, the patient who described the scenes passed away. The surviving patient, feeling a great void, asked to be moved to the bed by the window, hoping to experience what his friend once described. But when he turned his face toward the window, he was shocked. It looked out onto a blank wall. On inquiry, the nurse quietly explained he was blind. But he spoke what you longed to hear, to comfort you. In doing so, he gave you, both of you, something beautiful to hold on to. When this episode was shared with a friend, it reminded him of Bhagavad Gita 12, slogan number 4, Saniyedindriya Gramam, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha, Te Papnuvanti Mameva, Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Having controlled their senses, balanced in thought, and devoted to the welfare of all beings, such souls attain me alone. The departed patient had no sight, but infinite vision. He lived not for himself, but for the joy of another, a true expression of seeing the divine in selfless spirit. And the guiding principle for all these is Papa's golden words, words of wisdom. Gita's message is primarily to the man of the world, who according to it need not renounce the active life and its relation with the world, but can divinize all his actions by a complete dedication of himself in his entire being, both as the immortal soul and as the active worker in the field of Prakriti to the Lord of the universe. Srikrishna holds yogic action as superior to renunciation of action. While the latter signifies a partial denial of life, the former denotes a transformation of the whole life into the very expression of the Godhead by raising the ignorant soul from the human to his illumined, divine, eternal nature. Here we would like to add one more. When Papa switched over from the white, from the ochre cloth to the white, this is what he said. Comprehensive, not running away from anything, accepting everything, inward serenity, outward activity. Both are there. He is there in both, Otherwise it will be one-sided. static, dynamic. So when we went through this, these 10 examples, 10 Gita shlokas are becoming alive, It is not a shloka to be kept in the... We now realize it is not a shloka to be kept in the shelf. It is not for merely a reviewer. It is also relevant in our life. So like these attempts are made, all of you are requested to kindly ponder over this. Try to go along with this. All of you must be having the Gita book. Go through it casually. Something that is getting aligned with you will definitely make you to stop. Note down. Try to bring some experience, relatable experience you have gone through, or you have seen, or you have heard. And then try to connect up. And you will find a thrill, It is not an academic exercise. It is not that somebody it should get validated by somebody, certified by somebody. No, certainly not. It is only for our own thrill, our own joy. And when we start tasting Gita is entering into the common run of life, then it will take its own way of making us closer and closer to it. This is what we have experienced for the past 2-3 months. More of it tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam, Hari Om, Hari Om.